Welcome to Econ in HD. My name is Phil, and this is the benefits of trade, comparative advantage and absolute advantage. So by the end of this video, you're going to be able to understand what the differences between comparative advantage and absolute advantage, and you're going to understand how they lead to benefits to everyone in a trade, international trade or trade between companies or just trade between two parties. So we're going to start off with a very basic example, a basic economy with two countries, the US and Canada. In this economy, there are only two things that you can make. There are computers and monitors. Two things that people like to sort of buy together, 1-to-1 ratio. So if the US decides on a given day that they're going to take all of their production power and just make computers, then they can produce 100. The same goes for monitors. If they don't make any computers, but they make all monitors, then they can produce 100 monitors. Canada, on the other hand, has a little more trouble making computers. So if they take all of their production capability and put it into computers, then they can make 12 computers. And if they put all of their effort into making monitors, then they can make 60. So just so we're clear, there is a trade-off between these. So they can't produce, like the US cannot produce 100 of each. If it wants to produce 10 computers, it can only produce 90 monitors. So what we're going to talk, that is the opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is what you give up in order to get something. In this case, what you're not producing in order to produce your choice, I guess. So we're going to call this opportunity cost. So and we're going to express it as a ratio because that makes it really easy. So here it's pretty straightforward. It's 1-to-1. For every monitor, so every monitor that they want to create, US wants to create, they have to give up one computer. For every computer they want to build, they have to give up one monitor. Very straightforward. Canada, a little less straightforward, a little more complex because they have a 1-to-5 ratio. So their opportunity cost is 1-to-5, meaning that if they want to produce one computer, they are giving up, their opportunity cost is 5 monitors. And then going the other way, if they want to produce one monitor, they're only giving up 1/5 of a production of a computer. So that is their opportunity cost. That's their ratio. So these things are selling in a 1-to-1 ratio. So both these countries, and they're both independent right now, they haven't started trading, they make a production decision. So this is before trade. The US, it's pretty straightforward. They're going to make 50 of each. Let's say that I'm going to write it like this. Oops. Computers / monitors. Number. So that anytime you see a slash like that, it'll be this ratio. So number of computers, number of monitors. Canada, on the other hand, has a 1-to-5 ratio, and they want to sell it in 1-to-1. So they're actually going to produce 10 and 10. Oops. 10 and 10. So you'll see that they have to spend most of their day creating the 10 computers, and then they can knock out the 10 monitors really quickly at the end of the day. So these two countries come together in trade talks, and instantly they're going to see that Canada has this comparative advantage. And what does that mean? So the United States is better at making everything. So they are better at making computers, and they're better at making monitors. So they have an absolute advantage. It's just that you're better at producing everything. However, their opportunity cost for making one monitor is a full computer. Whereas Canada, their opportunity cost of making a monitor is only 1/5 of a computer. And that gives them a comparative advantage. meaning that they give up less to make that product. And we're going to see now how that leads to trade, or benefits to everybody in trade if they exploit that. So these two countries come together and they decide, okay, we're going to trade, but we have to figure out a price. So Canada values it at US values it at 1 to 1. Canada values it at 1 to 5. So they're just going to choose a price of 1 to 2. That's what they negotiate. So half. So one computer, they decide that one computer, when they're trading, is worth 2 monitors. So it should be becoming obvious now how this is going to give benefits to both parties. So we're going to do we're going to play it out over here. And we're going to have production and inventory. Production and inventory. So this is what the country is producing, so what the US is producing and what Canada is producing, and this is what they have on hand. So this is their actual inventory that they end up with after the trade or after the production. So they both recognize that Canada has this comparative advantage and has a relatively small production capability. So they agree that Canada should produce just monitors. So Canada produces 60 monitors, and giving an inventory of 0 computers, 60 monitors. And the US hasn't produced anything yet, and they are at 0, 0. So there would be no benefits of trade if you couldn't at least hit your original level of goods, like your original level of production. So we'll show that first, and then we'll move on to the benefits that are gained. So Canada says, Canada, there we go. So they trade 20 over to the United States, because remember, we're at a 1 to 2 ratio as price, and they want to hit 10-10 at least. So they take 40 from their 20 from their inventory and leave them 40. They send it over to the United States. So there's 20. And the state says, okay, we'll buy those, but we have to produce 10. So we're at, let me put a 0 here. But they've only produced 60. Yeah. So they produce 10 and no monitors, and they send those over to Canada as payment. So Canada is now sitting at 10 computers and 40 monitors. And US is sitting at no computers and 20 monitors. So Canada likes this deal, US likes this deal, so they do it again. So they send 20 over, they're left with 20. Inventory goes over, that 20 goes over to the United States, they're left with 40 here, 40 monitors. They still have no computers in their inventory because they produce another 10, but they give them to Canada, giving these Canada 20 total. So now Canada is done trading because they are at exactly what they want to be. They're at an even ratio between their two. So the US now says, okay, I'm sitting at 40 monitors but no computers. So first thing it does, it produces 40 computers. So that's a total of, so plus 40, so 60. And they haven't produced any monitors yet, giving them a total of 40 and 40. And again, we're now approaching the original baseline of 50 and 50. And you'll see, so they've produced a total of 60 units, 60 computers, 0 monitors, but they can produce 100 total units. So they have 40 capacity left. So all they do is they split it, and so they produce 80 total and 20. And so they add these to their inventory because Canada's done trading, they don't want to trade anymore. And then they're left with 60. So I think it's pretty easy to see. US has gained plus 10, and Canada going from 2020 to from 1010 to 2020 has also gained 10 and 10. And so without actually increasing their production capability, either country, they have actually increased the amount of goods that they can produce simply by trading and exploiting Canada's comparative advantage. And that is the benefits of trade. Thanks for watching.